All right, I want to thank y'all for tuning in today. Today we're going to talk about a few things, and I'm sorry I've got a glare from a light. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay, that's better. So today we're going to talk about ordering the TRX and the Rumble Bees. You know, Ram's got a lot of good new stuff coming out, and a lot of people are going to want these things. Of course, we haven't heard on the Rumble Bee what the order banks are going to be, but supposedly they're going to build the 5.7 first. Okay. First off, we're going to talk about the TRX, and this is all information that I've heard. It's nothing that is written in stone, but it's kind of an idea. So best guess from what I'm hearing is the TRX orders are probably going to open up July 1 is what I'm guessing, and from everything that I've heard. And you know, if you're going to want to order these Rumblebees or these TRXs or any of these things, you're going to probably want to make sure that you're talking to a GM right now. And at least, if not the GM, a finance manager at a dealership, because what's going to happen is we know the TRX is allocation. So there's only going to be so many of these TRXs that are going to be made, and dealers are going to only get, you know, let's say what they sold in DT 1500s from March, from end of February and through May is going to say how many they're going to get. But I'm hearing that, and this, like I said, this just hearsay, that they're building 1,800 on the first production run. So if you've got 1,400 stores, you're going to build 1,800 trucks. You know, that kind of tells you how many are going to get out there, right? So the best thing to do is to be first on the list at a dealer with either talking to the GM or the finance manager and saying, hey, I want to be one of your first orders. And you discuss what you're going to pay, whether that be MSRP, whether that be invoice minus holdback. You're going to have to talk to them and figure that out, because you need to get that deal, and you kind of need to get it in writing so that you know that you're lined up. Now, sales guys, and this is not a shot at them, but they're going to tell you, oh yeah, you know, it's our first one, you can get in and order it, and they're going to take your money for a deposit, and you know, they're going to order the truck for you. At this point, they really don't care if you take the truck or not, because what's going to happen is, when on allocation, is a lot of times that's when your ADMs are going to happen. You know, Ram may say, well, you know, you've got to have an individual order it, and then they order it, and if they back out or they don't buy it, then they're going to turn around and charge an ADM on it. And I think a lot of these vehicles are going to get ADMs in the beginning. That may fade off pretty quick, but you know, being an allocated unit, we don't know on the Rumblebee yet if that's going to be allocated. But like I said, we're hearing the TRX orders may open July 1, and that would be in line with what they kind of said when they came out in January 1. And so just wanted to tell y'all, if that's something you're looking at, like I said, making the deal now is really important when the hype isn't there, the orders aren't there, all those things aren't there. Because if you wait longer and you try to go in and place those orders, then that's what they're going to say. Well, you know, it's going to be 5,000 over MSRP or 10,000 over our MSRP, because everybody wants them. And then if you get on a list that, you know, you're number 6 or 7, it may be mid-year next year before you can get that truck. And so, like I said, that's just kind of my 30,000 foot view on it, on how you handle it. You know, I made a deal on a TRX months ago. The dealer knew exactly what we decided we're going to pay. And, you know, guys, if you're looking at invoice or MSRP, I don't think you're going to get a dealer that's going to give you a fixed number off, because it's like I said before, on like the Jeeps, like let's take the Moab Jeep, for example, where invoice on the 392 Moab invoice is literally like $4,000 from MSRP. And so the problem is whenever you don't have that big a gap, the dealer doesn't know what they're going to come out at, right? So they can't tell you they're going to give you $10,000 off of a TRX because the invoice may only be $4,000 less than MSRP. That's not information that they have right now. And so it's going to take, you're going to have to start seeing some of those first orders go through to see invoice, to see if there's any room or whatever you negotiate. You know, you make a negotiation right now to be the first order at MSRP. I don't think it's a bad deal. You know, if you can get less than that, that's great. But get in front of those dealers, get those orders in, and you know, I think that's the best way that you're gonna make it. You know, to make it where it's going to work for you. The 2027 order banks open for some vehicles today. What I'm hearing, and I'm hearing that the RHO was one of them. It looks like they're having an 8% increase on the RHOs. If it goes back to, I'm going to tell you that RHOs were kind of always, I felt, a little bit undervalued, especially back in 25. So they increased the price in 25 on the RHO also, like right in the beginning of end of 25, beginning of 26, which actually helped the used values whenever I traded my 25 in, because the MMR was higher because of the price increase. Okay. And so no matter where you buy these vehicles, or, you buy them discount, invoice, MSRP, whatever you do, like I said, get out, try to make the deal and get that figured out. And I haven't done a live in a while, so I thought I'd just get on here, throw a live out and just talk about this stuff. If you've got any questions or comments, drop them below. I will try to get those answered for you. But as always, guys, I mean, there's a lot of new stuff coming out. We know GM just released their new stuff yesterday. Looks like they've done some stuff with their seats. They put a passenger screen in. So a lot of updates coming out there. So it's good that there's competition in this space, because it's pushing everybody up to build something better. I'm going to run some polls on the channel later, just because we want to kind of see what engines and what configurations y'all are looking for. And then talk about some base model stuff. A lot of people want more of the base model trucks, but they're not getting the what are we talking about? The keyless ignition, the key fob, and then they want the 360 camera. And a lot of times you're having to bump up to these higher trims to get some of those things. And so, when you compare this brand to this brand, well, you get this with this brand, but you're not getting that with the other brand. So we're going to try to do a little more digging in kind of on like your Lone Stars, your Bighorns compared to your XLT, compared to your Silverado ST, and try to get some of that information to see how all of these trucks are comparing against each other. But anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in the video tonight. Hopefully it helped you. Like I said, questions, comments, drop them below, and I'll try to answer them. And thanks again.